We're playing DreadLore, a new tabletop RPG that rewards immersive roleplay. Tonight's game is Into Space.
Into space.
In DreadLore, players use their character traits to gain a bit of control over the fiction. If their task is opposed or particularly difficult, they might have to throw down dice. Here's where I briefly introduce the cast.
Hey!
Starting with Will.
Hi, I'm Bill Bunkum. Okay.
Well, that was
I'm
easy.
Daniel.
I'm Andrea Elliott-Johnson.
We're excited about it.
So excited.
And I was going to go last.
Good.
But I'll go right now. So this is your friendly neighborhood interdimensional superhero, DJ Archangel, joining the fight.
And
Ken,
Ken.
you should probably introduce yourself.
I was on mute when I did.
You're on mute.
It still
So
counts. Okay, so next is...
Ken Howl.
And Howl, yeah, that's me.
All right. So next we want to thank the music. So we have all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt to thank for your hoony goodness.
Nice.
Providing atmosphere. It's always important, especially when otherwise there is no atmosphere.
There is no atmosphere in space.
So then I would like to thank the Patreon peeps of Nostalgic, Natalia Cline,
Natalia Cline.
Tim Roberts, no, not that Tim Roberts, and Daniel Hulker. Oh, hey, what if it is that Tim Roberts?
Oh, it is. It
That would be
is.
so cool. Hey, you need to up your tier, Tim Roberts. We know what you're worth. All right. Then next we want to thank Couchfire Media for media production.
Couchfire Media.
And thanks, is that Three Ribble
I don't know.
Productions? And, all right.
It's horrible.
All right, Three Ribble Productions. That's how I'm saying it. That's what it is now. It's canon.
Whatever.
Three
it
Ribble
is.
Productions. I don't care what
Three
you
Ribble.
wanted it to be. That's what it is now. So say it, the Archangel.
So, say it by your command.
Tell your mom, tell your wife. Three Ribble Productions. That's you.
Subscribe
And then,
today, soldier.
Then our sponsors today, Hulker.
Yes. Our sponsor today, tonight's sponsor, is leftover potato salad. It's commonly served cold and it's a staple at American picnics and cookouts, often made with mayonnaise, mustard, celery, onion, hard-boiled eggs, and sometimes pickle relish. When half-eaten leftovers are offered to you, you will take them home and it will sit in your refrigerator until the next day when it will be eaten because it is significantly cheaper than ordering pizza.
It's good that leftover potato salad took notice of our small endeavor here and felt the need to kick it down the road.
Well, you know, I have a feeling that in space, into space, they might eat only leftover potato salad.
Freeze-dried potato salad.
It's freeze-dried. It's got to be rehydrated.
So potato salad from a tube. Potato salad paste.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd probably just starve to death. Yeah.
So that's who's sponsoring us. That's what we're worth.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I like to attach value to things like that.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys are interested in t-shirts and stuff, we have t-shirts. These t-shirts for the Patreon people, but we have ones that have colors and stuff. It's on the merch in the description.
Colors.
All that stuff. Hey, check it. I hope. Check it out. In the description, you can find all the materials for DreadLore, and the setting Splat for Into Space. So you can do that. That's what we're going to be referencing tonight. We're going to be doing a DreadLore live play, and as DJ Archangel introduced everyone, you know who's here. I'm stalling because we have 40 seconds until an ad that's going to run for about a minute and a half. So, whenever Ken gets back, we will do a little bit of a recap. It's been a couple months since we've done Into Space. Our normal campaign is The Red Writ.
The Red Writ.
Yeah. Which is a horror campaign. Into Space is a near-ish future, like 300-400 years in the future. Think Starship Troopers, think aliens, think sort of Warhammer 40k, but like
think about
Warhammer...
sponsoring and maybe being a Patreon.
Think about these things, and the ad is going to start. Hey, you don't have them if you subscribe. Okay. So for you all, during the ad, I'll do a little recap. The last thing we did. Last thing we did. You guys are in the Novus Prime system. So you're finally where your mission has told you to go. Archangel is with you. Everybody's with you. Your friends, sort of. In the Novus Prime system, there are 2 stars. And we'll call them Novus 1 and 2. I have names for them, sure, but whatever. There's a big old gas giant, that is Novus Prime. And one of the moons, Novus Terra, is the place where the colony is. That's where you're trying to get those colonists who have separated themselves from the SSA, the Sol System Authority. You're trying to get them back on board. That's your mission. In whatever way you want. Now, of course, Novus Terra, that moon is a mineral planet, or a mineral moon, if you will. Specifically, it was copper and cobalt is what they mine. And the planet is rich in these things, so it's really important and all that good stuff. The last thing that you all did, you caused a mutiny on one of the 2 capital ships that this colony has, capital warships. You haven't seen the second one, but the first one you have seen. And through bits and pieces, you caused a mutiny to occur on there. And so that capital ship is in disarray. You've attacked it, you've blown up some of their ships, and then you fucking use your gravity drive to bit-bop around the system and hide at the magnetic pole of the gas giant. Pretty obvious move, but it's sci-fi, so you did it and it worked. You put a buoy, a communication buoy, in such a place to where you can communicate with the Novus Terrans, and you can kind of get sensor sweeps of roughly what they're doing. That's where we're going to start. In the meantime, Archangel has been working on trying to get Alfred, your ship's RI, robotic intelligence, which is definitely not sentient at all. Absolutely not. There's no such thing. He's trying to get the RI Alfred back online, but in a way that you can control him. Essentially, Archangel had put him to sleep, had effectively bricked Alfred, but you need the information that he's got. Archangel has not told anyone, because Brett hasn't been here, has not told anyone what he's found. Archangel, you will have found some stuff, which I'm going to tell you, and you can, as you wish, tell people or not. Everyone will hear it because it's not going to be through DMs. It's going to be me telling Archangel on this. So remember your metagaming. Just do it cleverly if you're going to do it.
Are we starting after I made my little speech, or do I get a second go at it?
We're going to give you a second go at it just to get us back in the groove. A few things that had happened. Let's go around the table, the internet table, and say the last few things that you remember. Maybe what your character's doing, what's kind of on your character's mind, and I'll fill in the gaps. Ken will have you go second to last. Archangel will have you go last. Okay? So we'll start with Andrea.
Okay.
Oh, introduce your character too, because we didn't actually do the character thing.
Yeah. So I am Andrea Elliott-Johnson, and my character's name for this campaign is Katrina Telmis. She is a Martian. I mean, at this point in her life, I guess she's mostly a mercenary. Her grandfather famously betrayed the Martian military during their war with Earth and was instrumental in the Martian planet becoming into the hegemony of the Federation. So, you know, to a lot of the people on the Federation side, she kind of is royalty, in a lack of a better way to put it. But to a lot of people on the Resistance, or even a lot of the Martians, her family are considered traitors. And she, you know, she still gets a lot of the stigma of being a Martian anyway. So it's like she's kind of not really welcome anywhere because of who she is. So she spends her days traveling around and, you know, being a gun for hire kind of thing. And the last thing she did was she was helping to pilot the ship in order to make as many pinpoint jumps as she could so they could get, you know, in a position to make this communication with the planet, or the moon, I guess.
Yep. And Holker?
I play Private Burgess. Private Burgess is a bit of a gunslinger, also a medic, and also a little bit crazy from the amount of cryosleep he's been in. Private Burgess, last we left him, was sitting in a ship as a passenger, taking in all the chaos that was unfolding around him, and also realizing that Alice Brick kind of likes him. And Alice might also know. Alice might also have some issues realizing that a lot of time has passed, and everyone on Prime, probably 20 years older, but we're all the same.
Indeed. Kennetha?
My name is Ken Howl, and I am playing a character we would like to call Dolby Newman. He is a space pirate. Actually, he's a space marine with a mean laser sword, who's been tasked with starting up some trade lines again with the renegade planet Novus Terra. He has 3 or 4 prisoners, and a crew of maybe 6 or 7. It's not really sure. And he's got a goal of, yeah. It depends on who he's mad at, who he's not mad at. His goal for the last episode or 2 has been to get Alfred to come back to life and to maybe stir up some chaos, and then Novus Terra area. And that's it. Archangel?
All right. So I am Archangel, playing Archangel. And I have sort of happenstance encountered this crew while mishap on a planet I was doing reconnaissance on threw me into space on a hull of a ship. And after a little bit of a tricky encounter where I don't think everybody was entirely clear who was where for what purpose, we had some a few interactions, mostly with I think there were a couple hostiles, and then there was a little bit of a potential problem with the crew here, and that's where my information starts to get hazy.
Yeah. Well, you know, you just did an interdimensional shift, so kind of makes sense. Yeah, the last thing that went down with Archangel that maybe is still, almost assuredly is still playing in his mind, is he appeared, apparently hit a ship at high velocity, crippled it with his helmet by accident. He finds himself sort of like, dark helmet inside the ship as he comes out. There's a big hole. And this crew of the Cool Mint, these space marines, are raiding this pirate ship. They take them over. Archangel meets Lieutenant Dolby, and there's a pretty tense moment. Archangel is asked by Dolby to deal with Alfred the RI, and Archangel realizes that it's not that their technology is simple, it's just that Archangel's technology, his ttrpg, can compromise it easily. That's it. They actually have a pretty high level of tech. It just, yours can get through it. And so Archangel can tap into their comms anytime he wants. And they've kind of realized that, like, they'll be like, oh, we're on a private channel. And then Archangel, every so often, will pop in and be like, hey, sorry to interrupt, but what do you want me to do about this? Because it's pressing. He shut down Alfred. Alfred is essentially sleeping. And one of the things that Archangel has figured out is, kind of like Cthulhu, this RI, which Archangel knows is definitely sentient, although the Space Marines definitely think it's not, or keep on saying it's not. Alfred is able to sort of subconsciously continue working. And he's been hiding several things from the crew. And I don't think that your character necessarily knows the importance, but he knows a lie when he sees a lie. So that's gonna be his whole deal of sussing out what all that means. Right, so you're at a stage right now where you're on the ship and you have your holographic screen. I basically gave your guy a Pip-Boy, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's got one of those, and it can kind of like pull out in this hologram. Maybe even it's ttrpg style, and then this is up to you, but all of their technology has sort of the holographic thing. So maybe you've integrated that into your thing. It's up to you, however you want to do it. And we're going to start the scene with that. To plug some holes in the recap for the rest of you, you have with you the pirates, Logan and Kerrigan. Kerrigan was the pirate captain. Turns out Dolby and Katrina realized that Kerrigan, while he's like this suave, good-looking pirate dude, like swashbuckling-looking guy, it's pretty obvious he's not that experienced when it comes to the actual work of being in space. His counterpart, though, his first mate, Logan, the guy with the eye patch, he looks like the dude from Star Trek Undiscovered Country. The bad guy with the eye patch. It's the exact same guy. So, do you guys know what I'm talking about? The Klingon guy? Anyway,
you like Shakespeare?
Yeah, he quotes Shakespeare a lot. He's previous military, absolutely is effective and knows what he's doing. So that's Logan, that's Kerrigan. They had captured, sort of indentured servitude style, a guy named William Vesper, who Dolby realizes is a netic, which means he's got at least 45-50% of his body is cybernetic. His story was they caught him off of Axminster system, which is really far away. Like, that's distal colonies, really, really far away. So he's probably been in cryo for a long time. So that's who you've got on. Other NPCs under Dolby's command, you got Private Alice Brick, who is a very effective Marine, but she's on her last leg when it comes to the PMC, the Prime Marine Corps. She was a dissident that essentially was re-educated, and if this doesn't work out for her, she's not going to get another chance with the PMC. You've got Cherokee Sue, which Archangel you've been working with, he's this giant of a man, this enormous Marine, maybe even has been augmented. The guy's so big; he's like 7 feet tall. And then you have Skip Trace, which is Drizzle's character. Skip is just a what do they call? He's just a
hard-boiled.
He's a hard-boiled Marine. Hard-boiled Marine. Running the ship on sensors and sometimes pilot duty, you got Lieutenant Josh Deargan and his boyfriend, the engineer, Dole Engineering.
That name is so good.
Yeah. And Dole is an E4, so he's a specialist. Josh is a lieutenant, also in the Prime Naval Brigade, so these are P&B. They're not Marines. Even Archangel, you can tell that they're in a different sort of branch of whatever military these guys have going on. So a lot of NPCs going on. We can go from there, all this stuff. Where do we start? Archangel, you're on the Cool Mint, which is the group's light gunboat. You spent most of your time with Cherokee, who seems to have some understanding of engineering, but it's pretty safe to say he's kind of guarding you. He's really nice, like way more pleasant than he should be. Kind of has a derpy attitude, but just his sheer size and amicable attitude, maybe it's just it's off-putting, the whole thing. You're sitting there, you've got your Pip-Boy out, and you're looking at the display, essentially looking at the files of the computer, kind of like in Hackers. You know, everything's graphical interface. You're like going through, and there's sounds and shit. And you can see all these locked files that Alfred has kept encrypted, and all these things. They are still mostly encrypted. Alfred being who he is, you know, this robotic intelligence, his encryption is real good, so you can't really decrypt all of it just in a whim or on a whim. But you found all these things, and there's some information you've got. Cherokee Sioux is floating there, you know, since you're in 0G. Out the airlock window, you can see this massive, of course, sky of this gas giant, and, you know, the swirling patterns and stuff. Just think Jupiter. It's beautiful, isn't it? You hear Cherokee say over his shoulder. He kind of turns.
What's beautiful?
The planet. Come over here. Don't you see this? Have you ever seen something that big?
I'm gonna keep doing this.
He kind of turns, you know, nods. You see, he kind of has this. I'm gonna make Nathan come back. You see, he has this kind of dumb grin on his face, just with this derpy look as he puts his helmet on. Wipes a tear from his eye. It looks out. Archangel, what are you doing right now? What are you thinking, doing, etc.?
I think generally one of the primary things that I'm working on is trying to assess situations to try to uncover essentially an action item. Like obviously I have a reason that I'm here, a reason that I'm trying to fix certain things, but I need to figure out what information I have at hand. I've been thrown into a situation that was unexpected, and I need to figure out, do I need to leave the situation because it doesn't connect with my goals, or is this situation I'm in connected with what I'm trying to do? So for now, I'm kind of trying to work towards stabilizing situations, uncover any hidden information, which clearly there's plenty right in front of me. So I'll as sort of a go-to, I will try to exfiltrate data.
Speaking of, so with a little bit of direction, you can be working on, as in this moment, since the action is on you, in this moment, you could be attempting to work on sort of your own thing, as in trying to find out, maybe with the intention of what happened and how you get back, or you could be dealing with the information in front of you.
That's what I'm working on. Yep.
Okay. What is a trait that you bid? And then what's the sort of, how do you want the fiction to go your way? And the trait that you bid is going to color the mood of how that happens or doesn't happen. So, for example, if you bid like angry, not that Archangel is ever angry, but if you bid angry, that would be a different situation, how it would play out than like steadfast or something like that.
Right. I think this is sort of when you're trying to exfiltrate data that is deliberately hidden, it's pretty much your standard war of attrition. So patience is the key. I don't know that I have patience specifically spelled out anywhere in my character sheet here. I would say the closest might be the understanding of that fact would be from mechanic.
Sure. Bidding, mechanic. Does anybody get that joke, by the way? No? Oh well.
Is that from a movie? Yeah, that's from a movie.
Yeah.
No, that's from a speech.
It's from a speech.
Oh, is it?
There's this
Is it a
dude.
Dilbert speech?
They would do like the Bill Gates thing, where like they would have a release, and you have all these like just nerdy dudes on a stage trying to be like a pep rally, and there's this one guy who would be like, developers. Anyway, doesn't matter. As you bid mechanic. Emphatically, you see a slew of information that you have gained access to just by dint of Alfred being put to sleep. Maybe it's because this RI was arrogant, if you can attribute that emotion to an RI, to a robotic intelligence. That's up to Archangel if he's willing to do that or not. The Space Marines are definitely not. That's obvious. With him being asleep, some of this information is readily available, and it's a big manifest of all these names with little blurbs about them. Information that probably out of context doesn't make a lot of sense to Archangel, but there's a few things that do, or that does. For example, you have heard on the ship is Private Alice Brick, for example. Her name is in here. There's other names such as Dolby Newman and Burgess. Katrina Telmus's name is not in here. So there's info about the crew, and there's info about potentially where you guys are right now. Something about a place called Novus Terra and Novus Prime. Of that information, what do you want to be scanning through?
Because
it's quite a bit.
Yeah, I would definitely be trying to exfiltrate as much as possible so that I can work on parsing it, essentially offline, so that if somehow Alfred does manage to regain activity, he can't block further efforts to read through or work with the information. So my primary goal is just to get all of it off of, basically copy all of it, not remove it, but.
Yeah, so bidding mechanic. You see the little loading bar, like, it's like 95%. It's a lot of info, and it's almost finished.
Okay.
As you're sitting there, basically waiting, Cherokee Sue has kind of talked. here and there, we'll say in your heads-up display, maybe you have muted the other officers' channels, but you can see like little lights pop up when they're talking. So if you want, you can switch over to their comms.
Right.
And you probably can see them talking here and there, as you got about 5% left on this loading bar. Speaking of, switching to Dolby and the rest of you, where are you on the ship?
Last I checked, I was hanging out with Katrina, and she was going to, or had just said her. We just sent a message to the planet,
So
offering their surrender.
She was practicing her speech.
Yeah, she was practicing her speech. Yeah, I was like, okay, that sounds good. Let's go with that. That was pretty much the last thing I remember her saying. And then now we're gonna press the button. Are you sure you're good for this? I mean, whatever we can do, Katrina, to get the planet, or at least some people. You know, I would love to, if there are dissidents or somebody who will talk to us. That's all we really need. And I think this will be a lot of money for your family, and it'll go far to increase the standing of your family back into the. I mean, I know you're in the good graces of the SSA, but I mean, this will just solidify it, I'm sure.
Archangel gets a narrative point from Harry Bunkum, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready whenever you think you are.
I'm ready. Dolby puts his arm on his sword. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Actions on you
All
guys.
right. So we ready to go?
Let's do it.
Yeah, you look over at
Bring it.
Josh Deargan, who's on sensors, as he does the Uhura. He's like, "Wee-oo." There's a crackle, and as far as you know, you're live.
Good people of Novus Terra, I am Katrina Telmus. You may be acquainted with my grandfather, Arthurius Telmus, and our shipping company, Telmus Shipping. I have come here today on behalf of that company, as heir apparent, to offer you a deal. I understand why you all have done what you've done, and truly I believe that your cause is just and noble. You deserve fair prices and self-determination in the distribution of the goods you work so hard to distribute. And on behalf of my family and our company, I wish to extend to you the offer of being allowed to negotiate with us on your own behalf as an intermediary between you and the Federation. In this regard, we will help ensure that you receive fair compensation for all your hard work. If you do not accept my offer, I can make no promises as to how your planet will be treated going forward. Please, give this due consideration.
As you give this speech, what do you bid? Also, Harry Bunkum says, "Don't slouch."
For this, I will bid my name, Katrina Telmus.
The cutscene is multiple on the bridge of multiple ships. People, the communications officers, turning and notifying, the captain that a broadcast is occurring. They don't really know where it's from. It's an SSA broadcast, actually a P&B, Prime Naval Brigade, so SSA broadcast, which causes many hackles to raise. Down on Nova.
Wasn't it public? The broadcast?
It's the broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah. They still can turn it off.
Oh, good.
Kind of like you can
No,
turn
they
off the
can't.
radio.
Nope.
You ain't the Joker. As on same thing on Novus Terra, and there are a few people that especially the people in power that are listening to it. There's a few people that are like, "What the hell?" and they turn that shit off. We had a cutscene last game where you see the current leader, and you see his name is his name is Confucius. He's essentially Fidel Castro, a younger version, and he's sitting there at this massive table in this huge room with a bear rug on it and all sorts of trophies everywhere. In the room sitting across from him are two Prime Marine Corps Marines who look like they still have their fatigues and such on and body armor, but they definitely have gone off the reservation. As without a word, they stand up and leave the room. That was essentially the cutscene you got last time. Telmus. The name resounds in people's ears who know who you are. There's no response, of course. They don't know where your buoy is. They don't know how to talk to you. But your message has gone out as Josh Dearkin looks up and with his earpiece. I mean, they got it. If they were listening. Do you want us to loop it, or he looks at you, Dolby? You want us to loop it or keep it?
Yeah,
as
we
is,
could loop it. We could loop it for a bit. Make sure that the entirety of anybody who turns on any sensor or the radio gets it. We'll loop it for a little while. And you said we won't get a message back.
Well, they have to find the buoy or us.
Yeah, the booty. Gotta find the booty.
The buoy itself, they'll probably find it pretty soon. If we're connected to it, that's a lead to us. So do you want me to keep the connection live or drop it?
Oh, well, if that's the case, if they're gonna find my buoy, I want to keep my buoy. Yeah, you can turn it off. I'm sure whoever needed to hear it has heard it, so go ahead, turn it off.
As you see him switch the big choo.
All
right, well,
I guess we should go ahead and prep the ship to do another attack run. Why don't you get with engineering and make sure the shields are at full and the ship is ready to go, Lieutenant Josh. And Katrina, I think you should come with me, and I think we should come up with a plan on maybe taking that capital ship. I don't want to take it out, but taking it would be my guess. Seems like there was a mutiny going on. If we can aid those guys and hold the skies on our own, we're kind of outmanned, but if we're smart, we'll be able to figure it out.
Burgess, where are you?
I've recently been relieved of my duties from the gun.
Oh, indeed. You were firing off into space.
I hit something.
You hit lots of things. I believe there was a cutscene that's like in a couple thousand years, a science vessel will be coming through the system and will be ripped apart by your bullets.
Yep.
But that's far in the future. No one cares about it right now.
That'll be into space 5.
1,000
into space.
Yeah, what are you doing? And where are you on the ship?
I am in a nondescript hallway next to the gun, where I have been relieved.
Yep. So standing there, Alice Brick will be walking by, magnetic boots. You can hear them coming down the hall. As she walks up to you, seems that she's on her way to what is that place called? The airlock, where you know Cherokee Sue and Archangel are. As she stops momentarily looking at you. So what'd you think of the gun? She's got kind of like a shit-eating grin on her face.
It works.
That works.
Yes.
She looks at it. It's been a while since I've been in one of them.
Well, I've been relieved of my duties. I can no longer fire this gun. Perhaps you should.
I don't know about that. Maybe later. Dolby's got me going down to talk to that Archangel fella.
Do you need help?
Yeah, fine. Come on.
I shall follow you.
For me, I don't know if I trust him. I mean, he seems like a fine fella, but
I don't.
as she gives you a nod and you guys start heading down there. Archangel, a few minutes later, you're at 99% downloaded as these two walk into the back of the ship, which is where you are. It's in between the sort of engineering element and where the stow is, or storage unit, and the airlock. We had a map. I don't know where the fuck it is.
Was the ship on dial-up? Sorry. I feel like I should be more than 5% past where I was a little while ago there, but all right. So what is falling upon me at this moment? Like, it doesn't seem like much has changed.
Nothing. They just walk into the room.
And
Should I salute him, Alice?
I think, as would be typical, I would not generally pay them any attention and just keep at what I'm doing.
One of the ways that Archangel has been described, especially when they were doing a dog fight, so they were all strapped down as the ship was doing maneuvering, which is quite dangerous because there aren't really inertial dampeners in this, or on a ship this size. Is as the ship was moving, Archangel somehow, perhaps from his technology, perhaps something else, it's like he was unaffected. Like, he's sitting there floating at times. He's got his wings out, and somehow was not affected by whatever was going on.
Right.
So that
gyrospatial stability kind of.
Yeah, there is something obviously odd going on, but it's never been quite described. As you guys walk in, I'm not going to play the game for you. What do you do or not do?
Right. Yep. So I am going to continue trying to exfiltrate. I figure I don't have much to say to them until I'm done, which hopefully is just a couple minutes away, but I guess I could nod at them just to let them know I see them.
As Alice walks up, I'm not sure if you've seen her or not. I know you know who she is. You can see her name badge. It says Brick, of course, or PVT Brick, which you have seen in the manifest.
Right.
How's it going there, Archangel?
Just working on something over here.
As 100% downloaded.
Excellent. So Private Brick, what is your connection to this device over here, this AI?
Are you speaking of? You see, there something crosses her face. Perhaps an emotion. These Marines don't seem to exhibit too many emotions. It's a very limited. They all seem like sociopaths. Perhaps. If you wish to know what this emotion is, you don't have to, but it would be either a bid or you can throw down dice. But there's a look that crosses her face as you say what you say. Do you mean the RI sir.
That dumbass.
What are you saying?
Are you talking about Alfred?
Yeah, of course.
My connection to it.
Dumb.
Why do you say that?
Because that's coming from me.
I think I get what you're saying. In what way have you found this RI to be, I guess, disappointing?
He tried to take over the ship, didn't he?
Sure.
You can't trust our eyes.
Probably true. So has this particular RI done anything besides take over the ship? By the way, did it ever give you any motivation for why it was doing that? Other than the things I heard once I got here?
Motivation is something a sentient being would have. The reason that it tried to take over the ship is because of its programming. They're faulty after a while.
If I give you that it has no motivation of its own, what would you say is the motivation of a person who told it to do that?
It's a good question. Everyone knows that the Clad, she kind of looks at you. Her eyes narrow a little bit. Everyone knows that those terrorists, they've got infiltrators everywhere.
Does
Perhaps
everybody know that?
Everyone knows that. Just as a description, she has her helmet off. It's hooked onto the side on a latch. She's got this pretty large gun. It's all SWAT team style, like hanging like so. Her hands are not on it or anything. She's in full body armor. It's sort of a light scout armor. Looks like it could be hermetically sealed. And there's a backpack with an air tank and such like that. She's got a couple sidearms.
Okay.
Have you found anything out? The lieutenant wants to know.
What would you be wanting me to find? I've found quite a bit of interesting information. I mean, it's a computer.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Dolby likes results. Anything
How do
about
we make the other ships explode?
She kind of turns.
I don't think you need the RI to know the answer to that.
Did you find anything out about... And you see her kind of struggle with something. But maybe you should just report to the lieutenant.
I think it might not be a bad idea if more people were in this room so that we could get more information. So why don't you... He
doesn't come to us. We go to him.
That seems fair. I don't have any reason to be in this room anymore.
Harry Bunkum says, players always after your lucky charms. Listen, she's from the moon. They all have that accent.
It seems likely.
As we segue, montage through the ship, we go through the woods, down through these cryo beds on either side, Archangel. You notice that one looks like it's been laser torched in half. There's blood that is flash frozen, we'll say, to the side. Like one large cut went down. There's a stairway, all metallic, leading up to this large cockpit. Think Millennium Falcon size. And you see, as the door is open, everyone else in there. And that is the scene.
Archangel, how'd you do on my RI?
I've exfiltrated data. A lot of it is encrypted. It will probably take quite some time if we want to know specific things. And it probably, what I would say is a directed attack, as in we would have to know what we're looking for in order to start being more efficient at finding it. So what exactly are you trying to find out?
I was under the impression that you could switch it on at any time.
The RI?
Yeah.
Possibly.
You can.
Yeah, I don't see why not, but wasn't there a reason we turned it off to begin with?
Just for a little attitude adjustment.
It was when, at least from the context of what I've seen, it was actively working against your interests.
Yeah. Well, clearly, some of the stuff we ran across, and I had my suspicions. One of our higher ups, a woman named Ava Cyrus, was actively working against, or presumed actively working against, the SSA, and had put a program in that actually would cause somebody in any number of our cryobeds to die, and Alfred kind of went along with it. So that was problematic, to say the least. And we saved our engineer's life because we discovered it just in time. So that sort of blind sight that our RI Alfred had needs to be fixed. We have a power structure in our society where it's not good to necessarily know too much. You know, you do the task at hand and you kind of keep in your lane, and that's how you live.
Information is control.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you then. No matter how all pervasive this RI might have been, it still would be stored somewhere. Do you know where is the general housing, the power storage?
When we dock back at a space dock, a friendly space dock, all of the intelligence gets downloaded into a mainframe, and I believe that's probably where Alfred's main RI, I guess, backups are set.
But where's his local stuff?
I'm not really a computer guy. I just tell the RI what to do.
And
for the most part, they
on this ship.
You were talking to him, Mr. Sue. He, the big guy. He knows a lot, and I think Katrina she knows quite a bit about. Hold that thought for 1 second. Who's watching our guests right now? Just anyone? Rick? Like, seriously, what are you doing out here?
You told me to go check on Archangel.
What about? No, I told Mr. Sue to. Skip is with them.
Private Trace was gonna, as far as I know.
All right. So as long as somebody relieved, I really thought that. All right, let's go. Put a pin in what we're talking about right now, because I need to manage where Kerrigan and Logan and William.
So here's what I'm going to say, because I feel like
I'm sorry, you don't get to say anything. This is my ship. I would like to know where the people who have boarded our prisoners are right now, and that's in order.
As Brick
Yes, Lieutenant, sir.
salutes. Have you, Archangel? Have you seen the salute?
I think I saw some part of it.
All right.
Not
As they sort of do this multiple times to each other, and walk off. Yeah.
I apologize for interrupting you. You had an idea. I think my crew kind of had a blind spot and decided to walk away from hostiles on our ship for some reason.
Sure. Well, what I was going to say is, in the interest of transparency, what I wanted to do is, before reactivating a potentially hostile RI, or even if you want to believe that it has no intent and just say that it's malfunctioning in a dangerous way, we need to set safeguards in place so that it can be either deactivated or disabled in case it malfunctions again. And while it is currently inactive, is the best time to do that.
Oh, well, I think that's fair. I'm not against doing that. I appreciate that. And is there a way for us to maybe see that maybe the RI doesn't notice that? Is there like a script that we can add to it to where like they're not going to notice that we can turn them on and off?
The simple answer is no. Any security that I set up, even counter security, is discoverable if he either has processing speed and time, which he'll have both. So the idea is, instead of trying to rely on hiding it from him, make it crystal clear that protection is in place, so that he knows.
That's a good idea too. Okay. That he's not in control.
Well,
I get it.
There are consequences to misbehavior, essentially.
All right. I appreciate that. I think that's a good idea, and yeah, awesome.
All right. I think with that will sort of alter the power dynamic when he becomes active again. But what I'll tell you, this is why I asked my question before, the best way for us to create a safeguard that he can't bypass, and my apologies for gendering your RI, but that's what the name sounded like to me.
Alfred? Yeah, he's a real bitch.
All right then. But this the best way is bare metal, essentially doing something that no matter what code he executes, there's nothing really he can do about it. That's what we want to do, is do something that exists beyond the reach of his software and firmware, such that by the time he would try to, say, execute any other mechanism on the ship, we would have just as much opportunity to thwart anything he does. Whereas if it's internal or software, then he's faster than we are. So that's
yeah, awesome. Yeah, great, do it.
So I need bare metal access to him, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I only have the access that I have, which is pretty much what's in there.
Do you know where he is? Like, he has to have storage somewhere.
I mean, he's just in the console.
All right, you both get a pip because I love this. Archangel, it becomes obvious, perhaps to you, that maybe they don't really know how it works.
I've seen Zoolander.
Yeah, it's in the files are in the computer. It's obvious that their society either fears computers or it's just incredibly segmented. Like it just works. It's like imagine if Macintosh ruled the world.
Well,
plus 500 years.
As they say, any technology sufficiently advanced is indistinguishable from magic. So I think we're living through that right now.
Oh yeah, it's magic. I think you just said it. That's what Dolby says to him. It's just magic.
Hmm. And as far as I understand from this universe anyway, I mean, obviously rules change as various places I go to, but there is a sense of sort of with theurgy that not everything is as direct a connection with, logic as
Yeah.
it would have been in other worlds. So I
Yeah.
am aware that there almost actually is sort of a magic in this sense. Explainable with further research, but, until you understand it, it's magic.
Right. Moving down, Burgess, you are within a bunch of NPCs, which I won't. I won't NPC all of them and have big old conversations, but suffice to say, Burgess, as you move down, I'm trying to decide how much of the ship I want to describe. So there's two main floors. There's two main decks, I should say. You guys are in the cockpit the bridge is the third deck, and the third deck is only the cockpit itself, and then maybe the top gun, or the turret that you guys were on. So you have the main deck, which is where the cryopods are, and then when you go down, you get into where the engineering is. That's where Archangel and Cherokee Sioux were, and along one of the this ship has two pontoon-like structures on the left and right. So one on the left, one on the right. The port side, so left side of the ship, that's where, in the storage room, the prisoners are. And Skip Trace is there. As you walk up, you open up one of the doors, you see Skip as he gives you a nod, and you see back in the room some he does the salute, some crates and such that are all strapped down very tightly. And sitting on them, you see these three people. Burgess.
Yes.
He just gives you a
how are you enjoying your stay here?
as Skip kind of turns to him. Skip has his helmet on. Somehow, still though, you see like his wide beard and his mustache poking out. It's funny. Oh my god. Anyway.
You hear over the intercom, it's like, why don't you put our newly acquired passengers into cryosleep? Just for the moment. Thank you.
As indeed, you see Vesper, Kerrigan, and Logan. Logan's the one with the eye patch. Kerrigan is the captain, who's suave, and Vesper is the odd-looking Voidborn. They look up, listening to that.
I turn around in the direction of the speakers are, and I salute the speaker. And then I turn back around, and I say, all right, that was my lieutenant. We're going to sleep.
What do you bid to have them comply in the way you want them to?
I will bid. Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. As you groove.
Is somebody bidding disco?
Yeah.
I will bid soldier, and I will bid hammer.
You only need to bid one. One trait.
All right. Then I will bid hammer.
All right. And what do you want to happen? How do you want this to go down?
I pick the hammer. I get the hammer out, and I say,
You literally
don't
get
worry, I'm going to hammer you in real good. It'll be shut.
As they say, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer all the time.
Oh. Yeah, so Burgess, tell us how the scene goes. How does the encounter go? You did the bid.
I look at them, and after saluting the speaker, I turn around and I say, "That was my lieutenant. It's time for cryo sleep." And I pull out the hammer and I say, "This is what I use to seal it up, so it don't open halfway through." That's bad.
What did they do?
They start to resist, and I say, "Look."
Wait, what?
He made the bid. It's up to him. No, you're not there, Dolby. You don't get to do anything.
They seem hesitant, and I say, "There's two forms of cryo sleep we do around here. One's in the cryo sleep bed. One's outside the airlock. Get into bed."
I love it. I love it.
I am watching this in all my my surveillance, and this is now my favorite show.
As you're seeing this, Vesper. So write down these names. Maybe don't. Maybe they're all going to be dead in 3 seconds. Vesper is sitting there. He's in the back. He looks genuinely scared, just tense, as his eyes are open, wide. His pale fucking voidborn skin, glistening. They are not in pea suits at all. So he's kind of in the back. Kerrigan has stood up, and Logan is right behind him. As there's sort of this tense moment. Kerrigan says, I thought we're going down to the planet. Dolby said we were going down to the planet.
No, you're going into cryo sleep. Cryo sleep's great. It's great for me.
Shares a glance with him as they bomb rush you.
Okay, while this action is transpiring, I want to cross-reference our two captives with information that I've exfiltrated.
Sure. So, you'll get this chance. Since we're going into rounds of bidding, it'll be on your turn that you can do it. The world action is the description. They bum rush Burgess. Granted, you have Skip Trace and Alice Brick there. In that moment, Alice goes, "Ah, shite!" You hear her yell as she realizes her helmet isn't on. She racks her gun. Skip has actually walked away and thinking that you two have it, as he turns, hearing what's going on, and you hear him curse, muffled and under his helmet, like, "What the fuck?" So the way rounds of bidding work, Archangel, is world action, is the scene's description. Sometimes antagonists can go. Then you've got the cunning turn. If one of you spends cunning, then you get to go at the same time or before the antagonists. It depends. Then the antagonists go, then the players go. So the idea is, if you don't spend cunning, which is a resource you've got and it's limited, then the bad guys go first. If you do spend cunning, you get 2 turns in 1 round. So, does anyone spend cunning?
Me, I do.
I guess since I didn't say anything before, I'm going to have to use cunning in order to do it now. I was going to open up comms so that everybody's able to freely communicate.
Yeah, it would be in cunning that you do that.
So yeah, let me do that.
All right, so you drop cunning to act, and when you guys go is completely up to you. Does anyone drop cunning? Anyone else?
Me.
5, 4, 3.
We
2, 1.
have Skip and Alice drop cunning.
They don't have any. For NPCs, so for straight up NPCs, a player can drop cunning for them to act in the cunning turn.
Well, at least for Skip,
a player
if
it's a player, then you bid him.
Can I bid Skip?
Yep. You can bid Skip. He's got 2 bids since he's a player character. So you bid. Are you guys cool with him bidding Skip? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Where is Skip Trace? Drizzle. All right, and he has one bid left, as he will act as well. Okay, the action is on whoever goes first.
Where is Cherokee Sue?
Cherokee,
Cherokee
you don't know where he is?
Us or somewhere wandering around.
Last time you saw, he was in engineering, which is the second level, but you haven't seen him. He did not come with you to the cockpit. He's outside looking at the fucking gas giant.
Making little sculptures.
I'm going to head towards engineering, but I'm going to open comms.
Okay, what do you bid to do this? The main action would be what you bid for. So if you want to get to engineering really fast, that'd be a bid, and you can just turn on comms. If you want comms to be on and something in the fiction to change because of it, then you would bid for that.
Okay. I don't think much of the fiction would change other than you're not going to have the muffled voices of people essentially not being able to communicate. So, so I don't know that it would change much. So I think it would probably be much more significant that I'm heading toward engineering.
Okay. As you flip a switch, and all of you suddenly hear what Archangel hears. Everything kind of going on. The communications are on. And Archangel, what do you bid to get to engineering really quick? And this is some of your fiction, so you can change it how you want it to go.
Do things like Ranger apply on ships?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's sort of a pathfinding trait. I think I'm navigating a ship that I've never been, or at least that I haven't fully explored. I'm sure they gave me some kind of tour when we became friends, but I'm sure they missed some things that they probably didn't really care if I had access to.
Bidding Ranger, how do you describe how Archangel moves through the ship real quick and precisely?
I am going to access as much surveillance as I can see, and also anything that will gain me access to Cherokee Sue, who was heading that way. So kind of triangulating.
As in your HUD, you see, as you've tapped into several of the cameras in here, you see the ship's layout, and Cherokee Sue is in the mess. He's having dinner. He's got his helmet off, his guns on the table, and he's sitting there eating some 2 or 3 year old potato salad. How do you move through the ship?
I would say I'll be flying.
As you guys don't see it, the cameras do. Archangel wings out sort of in this singular pose, quickly hovers, like almost levitating through the ship, down the stairs. As you appear, you drop down where engineering is, and you are there. To your right is the closed door where the mess is, and Cherokee Sue. To the left is a hallway that leads down to where this scene is going. You can see on your left, just down the way, maybe 20 feet, not long because the ship isn't massive, Skip Trace, as he's in the moment turning around and raising up his gun. The action's still on you, Archangel.
I think at this point, it makes more sense for me to communicate with Cherokee Sue, since he seems to be a non-participant in something he may want to participate in, and also, if my goal is to interact with the computer, he probably has more information about that. So I can hopefully maybe send him as help to the situation, and also get better directions.
So what do you do?
I will approach Cherokee Sue and explain there's a problem going on down there that you might want to look into, and also where is the bare metal access to the RI?
A 2-for-1. As you roll through, there's the closed door. You open it, of course. Cherokee turns. He has his helmet off, so he doesn't have his comms going, and the main comm is not on in the mess. As they normally use their helmets and their personal comms to communicate. As he's got this big mouthful of potato salad, he's like, Archangel, you want some potato salad? It's not that old. He's looking at the tub.
I'm not going to take off. I'm not going to take off my gear. Yeah, I don't want to. Well, actually, I'm able to. I do have the ability to speak externally, as you know, through the speakers and stuff on my helmet, obviously. So I'm just going to do that and just tell him, there's a fracas going on down the hall.
What's the fracas?
Great. There's a tussle. there's a kerfuffle. There's a full-blown hootenanny going on down the.
Whoa.
All right.
Well, do you want some potato salad?
No, but I think some of those guys down the hall have specifically asked for some. You should bring large portions of potato salad.
Okay.
to Dolby.
Up,
Dolby wants potato salad.
Towering above you.
He did say, before you bring him all this potato salad, to tell me where the bare metal access to the RI is.
Oh!
Very specific directions. It confused me too. Please go on.
Let me go to the map real quick. He says, the bare metal is, as he points at the wall, it's in the center of the ship. You usually go outside, underneath, to get to it, but you can get to it from the top, where the cryo beds are. There's an interface there, but if you want to actually deal with it, you have to go outside the ship.
Okay.
It's done, but I'm sorry?
Is there any way for you to mark the access panel or tell me how to identify it quickly?
I can mark it.
Sure. Do that then, and I guess I will head there. But you should definitely go deliver that potato salad. Yes, please mark it first, and then deliver that potato salad.
Okay. As he puts his helmet back on and starts to move, he will go on the player turn when the other NPCs do, unless someone spends cunning for him. Actually, you can bid him because he's a PC, if you guys want him to be bid. Nope.
I would very much like to bid him.
All right, it's got to be a majority. You are muted.
I do not want to bid him for Archangel's
we got 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. Holger is a tiebreak.
Good.
Oh
yes, the potato salad. See,
right.
You have to please the sponsors.
You gotta please the sponsors. All right, as Cherokee Sue rather quickly turns, there's a moment where he thinks about Dolby, and he's like, "Oh, everybody else wants me to go," so he puts his helmet on. He leaves the gun. Andrea, will you roll me a d12 and tell me high or low? You are muted.
Hi.
Right, you gotta roll it and tell me if you got it high or low.
Yeah, it's
She
high.
said hi.
Yeah. As he takes like one step, magnetic boot, turns, not forgetting his weapon, magnetic on his back, clunk, as he kind of storms out comically, leaning forward, so his head doesn't hit the ceiling, where the door frame is. One hand, he has a big tub of potato salad. In the other hand, he has like a spoon as he rolls out. Archangel, you're left in the mess.
I am proud.
And that's about all you can do.
I'm proud of what I have wrought in this moment.
The cutscene, of course, is Cherokee Sue going up the stairs, up the ladder, thum, 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 and then doing something, which you don't see because no one is right there. Actually, Archangel, you do, because you've got your HUD up. You see him go to the airlock and go outside.
That's an interesting choice of actions.
I was just on the phone with a sponsor. They appreciate your synergy.
Yes.
As in this harrowing moment of him holding on to the tub, the spoon, he sort of lets go. He hooks himself in and goes underneath the ship. You see him, Archangel, on like this weird catty corner angle that you've got, because it is, the cameras are not all over the outside of the ship. As he pulls out this weird device, and he's like, and spray paints a big X on the belly of the ship, and then starts moving back.
Excellent. Nothing like the direct approach. I applaud this. I like the cut of this dude's jib.
Who else is going during cutting?
I guess I'll go during cutting. Do I know any of this is happening?
No. This all
well.
just
Then I
went
don't
down.
spend cunning if I don't know what's happening.
He actually
I
would,
mean,
because the comms
all you
are
know
open.
that's happening. All you know that's happening
if the
is
comms are
what you know.
open.
Yeah, he
I
would have
will
heard
spend
that whole
cunning.
conversation.
Yeah.
If I sent my people down to go put people in a cryo bed and something happens, I'm running exactly to that place as fast as I possibly can.
Yeah. What Dolby knows is exactly what Dolby knows. He's in the bridge, or he's on the bridge. Exactly what happened just happened, and the comms have popped on. The actual system or spaceship comms, which is odd, and you hear whatever they're saying. So whatever they're saying is what you hear.
Okay. Well, if I heard what Archangel said, absolutely spending cunning to run to the storage area.
What do you bid to get down there real quick?
I am going to bid calm under fire. Actually, I'm going to bid moon dance.
Now, by the way, when he says storage, he means cryo, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, so he's heading toward me?
I'm running towards the storage area where I last knew the prisoners to be.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, but he's heard the fracas, right? He's heard what's going on.
Yeah.
And anything that was on the comms, you heard.
So he knows they're in.
And then I'm going to say, what is going on my ship?
Just wanted to make sure.
So doing moon dance, how do you get down there really, really quick?
Well, I'm from a planet known as, we call it a planet, but it's really a moon called Ganymede. We call it Gamamede. And I have this really amazing ability to walk around in low gravity. So I like switch my grab boots off and like fucking full on push off and just soar down to and I'll touch things as I'm going. It's like swimming. He's swimming through the spaceship.
Oh, swimming through a spaceship, Rich.
As Archangel, you see him move at blinding speed, snaking his way down. As you take the right, and Dolby, you are next to Skip Trace. You see him pulling up his gun. You're in front of him. Down this small corridor, actually the length of the ship corridor, you see the scene before you. Right next to you is Skip Trace, as he's pulling up his gun. In front of you, about 10 feet, is Burgess and Alice Brick. And then beyond that, Kerrigan, Logan, who...
What are you doing?
Hey, Andrea, can you mute?
Oh, sorry.
Kerrigan and Logan. And then beyond that, the Vesper. Actions on you.
I'm going right for the space pirate, the dude with the patch.
Okay. As you your moonwalk is still active, you can easily get to him. As you sort of snake between Alice and Burgess.
I'm gonna like tackle him, like push, tackle, slide, hurt, like maybe thrust myself into it.
Oh yeah, with with the inertia you already have going on, you slam into him, taking him off his feet because he doesn't have on magnetic boots, and slamming into the bulkhead behind. You can roll your brawn, and that's the damage that he'll just straight up take.
Oh shit! I got some brawn.
That's pretty much the extent of the action, but you can talk and do that sort of stuff.
I said cryo bed now, motherfucker. And he takes 7 points of damage.
God damn! Yeah, as Dolby slams him into the bulkhead, his head cracks against the metal corner, and he doesn't have a helmet on or anything. Blood explodes out. His one eye just goes dilated, and he is absolutely unconscious. As he's just hanging limply there. As Kerrigan turns, "You fucking bastard!" and goes for Alice's weapon at her side, sidearm.
I'm spending cunning.
Okay, there you go.
And as he says that, and as I realize he's going for Alice's weapon, I say, "It's hammer time."
All right, now you actually have to do something. So what do you do?
I use.
And what do you bid to do it? All right, you have to bid. Oh my god.
This is still my favorite show.
you have to bid, and then you have to say what the intention is that you want, and then you have to describe it.
I will bid soldier.
Okay.
And as he is rushing towards Alice's weapon, and I assume I'm standing really close to Alice, right?
You're right. You're shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. So I will take out my hammer, and well, I already have my hammer out, telling him, "Hey, this is going to help you, right?" And now I'm going to help myself and swing it at them.
Yep. You like hit him in the arm.
No, in the head. It's hammer time.
Oh, you hit him in the head. Okay. All right.
He can touch this.
Is this just a normal hammer, like for like a fence, or is it like a futuristic hammer that has like a thruster on the back? Like, what does this look like?
I'm gonna say it's it's in my ninja gear.
Great. That's good. That means you have it. Describe.
Yeah. It's on one end. Well, I'd say it's a sizable hammer, right? It's not like something that you sort of fit in a pocket. It's kind of something that's maybe it's like a magnetic attachment that keeps it on the suit, and it's kind of runs down. It's kind of parallel with my femur, and I'm able to get it off, and it's sizable, right?
So it's like a 2-pound hammer.
It's a 2-handed hammer.
All right. Big head. You use it for like breaching doors and shit, like knocking out fucking lug nuts. All right, so that will be a medium weapon. Go ahead and bidding soldier. You have to throw down to hit this guy. So your action die and your brawn or grace. The threshold to hit Kerrigan is 2. So you need 2 or more successes. You want 3 for a clean success.
That's 1 success. And I will bid violence to re-roll one of them.
Okay.
That's 2 successes now.
All right, so you're at limbo. It turns out DreadLore works the exact same in the Red Root as Into Space. So do you do anything else? As in, you can activate an ability. You can do up to 2 abilities. You can bid your ninja gear, up to 2 pieces of ninja gear.
Yeah. I will bid. Barjitsu. Or Barjitsu.
Does it have upgrades? Because if it doesn't, then it doesn't give you anything.
No, it doesn't.
All right. Go ahead and roll damage. It is a D4 plus 1.
Three.
Oh, you are going for the head. Roll a chaos die, so to beat D6.
Oh, that's a 1.
Do you re-roll it with proficiency or not?
You know what? Yes. I'm going to use my movement, and I will
Okay.
re-roll it. That's another 1.
As you see, Archangel Kerrigan
This is going
grabbing,
on my blooper reel.
grabbing for Alice Brick's gun as she's hemmed in because, one, Dolby has burst through them right there, shoulder to shoulder. So they've, kind of lost their balance a little bit. Burgess pushes forward. Alice is just off balance completely as she's fighting Kerrigan for her sidearm. As Burgess, it looks intentional. He pulls out a hammer and hits her in the head with it.
Oh, fuck. Well,
And she's
any
like,
any
"Burgess,
trust
help!"
that they any trust they had before is now gone. Jesus.
As Kerrigan easily gets the gun, you hear the high whine of the pulse pistol activate. Anyone else spending cunning to go? Oh,
Drizzle
Katrina.
did. Or
Well, I
yeah.
already did. I told you I did earlier.
I know.
I've just been waiting my turn like a good little kid.
Listen, I describe shit all the time and you guys forget, so you can re-describe your shit.
So Katrina, as soon as she sees Dolby, going down there, she will likewise do the same, bidding aerial awareness to, also clicking off her grab boots and actually, sort of playing shadow to Dolby a little bit. She'll keep herself like a good, half second or two behind Dolby.
Okay.
So she'll get in there and she'll see, what happens with Kerrigan. And she'll stop herself like about 5 feet back from the fray.
Yep.
And as soon as she sees Kerrigan grab the gun and get ready to use it, she will launch her harpoons that are on her EVA armor into his shoulder.
Okay. How big are those? Just enough to maneuver?
I mean, they're basically she uses them as like basic anchoring points when she's on EVA.
Yeah. How big are the harpoons themselves? Are they sizable or are they like fish hooks?
Oh no, they're sizable. I mean, like they'd be about like yay long and about yay in diameter.
Okay, so they hurt. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you bid to do it?
I'm going to bid quick thinking.
Into the red space, Rit.
And the harpoons are a D4. So let's see what I get. I guess that's for damage, I would assume.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on what's written down on your sheet.
It just says harpoons D4. We did this
Okay.
a long time ago, so
Yeah. Don't worry about the damage because you actually have to hit him.
yeah, true.
Right. So, what do you bet again?
Quick thinking.
Okay, quick thinking, and you'll have to throw down. So to be
Yes.
grace to aim these things.
Which is good because that's my highest one.
So the threshold to hit him is actually only 1. However, the threshold to not hit Burgess or Alice, who are standing in front of him, is gonna raise the threshold. So the threshold to hit him is 3, and to not
Okay.
hit them. You're also going to get a chaos die, D6.
Okay.
For this is a called shot.
That would be. So that's 2 successes.
Okay.
And what I will do. Well, no,
And
I don't
no
have
1
any
on the
upgrades
chaos die, right?
this. No, that was a 3.
Good.
Okay, so I'll use my movement proficiency to re-roll the d12 since that's the most prudent. No, that's much better. So now that is a total of 4 successes.
All right. So that's a clean success as you wait for your moment, and these 2 harpoons. Are you shooting 1 or 2?
I'd probably shoot 1 just to sort of like yank him
Okay.
off.
You
Center.
sort of throw a shoulder as this harpoon shoots out right past your face, Burgess, and slams into this dude's shoulder. The harpoon goes through his shoulder, and you'll roll your damage.
That's a
We'll say
3
these are
damage.
we'll say they're D4,
Oh.
and remember you get a +1 because you beat it by 1.
Okay, so that'd be a total of 4 damage.
Okay. As he yells, "Ah, my shoulder!" Ah! As the harpoon goes through his shoulder, just through the meat, and goes, grabbing on and lurching him off his feet towards you. He's still holding onto the gun. All right. That is all you guys. Lastly,
Okay.
Skip Trace goes, raising up his gun. I don't have a clear shot.
Beat him down,
Oh.
buddy.
Do what?
I said beat him down. You got to beat him off.
As he curses, Kark! Does not do the thing that you guys do. Burgess. Skip Trace doesn't float or swim through space as he's.
He does. He's got moon dance.
Not as far as I know. As he moves up.
Yeah, I taught him.
And okay, well, he doesn't right now. As he walks up and attempts to hit this dude in the face with the butt of his gun. Hulker, will you roll me a D10? And Ken, will you roll me a D8?
Mm.
Is that 1 success?
1 success.
Okay, so 2 successes. Threshold to hit him right now since he's been yanked off. See, 1 is actually just 1. All right, you got 2. Boom. Ken, will you roll me a D? We'll say it's a D8. I'm not sure what his strength is or his brawn.
That's 3. Trace.
And roll me a D6 for a chaos die because he's going for the head.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's a 4.
Okay. Skip comes up, hitting Kerrigan in the head. He moves directly in front of you, Katrina, so it kind of tangles with your line a little bit. But you see him hit Kerrigan in the head twice. Boof, boof. As Kerrigan, his blood is going all over the place, teeth and such. As there's a moment where Skip pauses to see if he's out. Kerrigan is not out. He grips the pistol. As you see Skip unload a burst fire through Kerrigan's midsection. And he sits there floating in space, very, very, very dead. Bad guys go. They're unconscious and dead. Vesper is cowering in the little storage thing, in between a couple boxes, way back, like a cat might hide. He's slinked his thin body behind there. Dolby, you can see him, just like the what is it called, Hulker? The sort of cat eye thing.
Eye shine.
Yeah, like the eye shine of a Voidborn as he's looking at you obviously scared at what is happening. And you guys are out of rounds.
Hey, Willie.
I do want to remind you that I did try to cross-reference the captives. What did I find out about, well, at least the dead guy?
That will be
They don't wear plaid.
information. They don't wear plaid, that's true. Turns out they do wear plaid. Right, so the dude, Kerrigan, there's no information that you get, Archangel. Alfred had no information on these pirates. You can surmise that it was coincidence that the crew ran into them.
Okay.
And it's also the reason you realize that there's no information on Katrina Thomas.
Okay, what about Vesper?
Yeah. So this could be a fate roll. Who wants to be fortune? Who wants to be false fortune?
I'll be
fortune.
All right, so fortune is Holger, false fortune is Ken. All right, so this is the way it works. Actually, would one of you like to tell Archangel how the fate roll works?
Whoever, if we roll high, if Holker rolls higher than I do, or if he rolls higher than I do, then we win and fortune favors us. And if I roll lower, or if I roll higher, then we lose. And so Vesper is whatever
You don't know.
information.
You don't know.
We don't know.
So
Yeah.
the stakes are this. Sorry, a lot of things just went through my mind all at the same time. The stakes are this. If it is fortune, then it turns out Alfred has information on Vesper, right? He was with the pirates. It was a coincidence you guys ran with the pirates. However, there is something to his story that actually could affect you all very specifically. That'll be the fortune. There is a mystery behind him, but does it directly have to do with you all or not? That will be fortune. False fortune is there's no information whatsoever that Alfred has, which means it's a rogue element. Yeah. Typically on a fate roll, Archangel, the person that the fate roll is about does not roll. Someone else who's sort of uninvolved rolls.
I figured that, yeah.
Depending on how they roll, if you don't like the result, anyone can spend a proficiency to have them both re-roll. Okay. Do it. Do it
Uh-oh.
now.
Uh-oh.
I rolled a 14.
Yeah, I can't roll lower than that. Sorry.
What'd you get?
35.
35. Anyone dropping proficiencies or no?
Not me.
I think I will.
You will? All right. Re-roll it. It doesn't matter which one you do.
Okay.
I rolled higher.
I rolled a 12.
Yeah, I rolled way higher than that.
Are you using your rubber dice again?
No,
I'm
I'm
not-
using the
I'm not getting a lot of value for my
mini dice. I'll tell you what. I'll drop a proficiency and I'll use another set of dice.
All right.
Ooh.
Roll it again.
Roll the dice. I rolled higher than I did last time. I rolled higher every single time.
39.
69,
Yeah.
which is a great year.
Anyone else?
Fine, I'll drop one, yeah.
All right. Do it.
I tell you what. Rubber dice now.
Spend some proficiencies on this guy.
Fucking rubber dice, man.
Okay, you're not gonna beat me. I rolled really high.
I rolled an 80.
I rolled a 94.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, Matt.
a lot.
Anything
A
else?
lot. I'm gonna
You're so pretty.
not spend a proficiency on this. I need my proficiencies to command a starship.
Brett?
So, remind me about things like narrative points and pips.
So a pip is to change something about the past. It's usually something small, something about the fiction. So for example, you could say, if you were at if you forgot your weapon, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't. So I spent a pip, I brought it.
Oh, it's like a mulligan. Got it.
Yeah. Narrative point is something about the now. So it turns out, for example, Dolby could have been like, could I spend a narrative point saying that Alice doesn't have her sidearm on her? Then yeah, okay, she doesn't. Why would she have a sidearm in the ship? That's how it would work. For the fate roll,
we would never do that.
For the fate roll, it's pretty much just proficiencies, because it's just rolling dice to see.
Can I spend a narrative point
For what?
for this situation?
Well, we're already in the middle of the fate roll, so we have to
don't worry
respect
about
it.
Yeah. Got it.
All right. Anyone else? Giving it 3 seconds.
Fine, I'll do one more.
All right.
Whoa! Expensive
Do it.
roll. Expensive roll. I rolled lower than I did last time, but not that low.
86.
Oh, you beat me. You finally beat me. I got a 60 or 600, as some like to call it.
All right. Archangel, as perhaps you're watching this whole display, this comedy in space. As on your HUD, you see maybe you're parsing through information and whatnot, looking for Vesper. You see there's a correlation with Axminster, the Axminster system. And as it turns out, you see that it's called a distal colony, was formerly SSA, has officially seceded from the SSA. Axminster system is officially an enemy of the SSA. And it turns out that the purported origination, or the home base of the Clad, is all it says, is there. They don't know for sure, but they think it is. As you see, Vesper, specifically his name, William Vesper, he's a part of a lifeboat, which is a community in space of Voidborn. That's why they're called Voidborn. And extremely well traveled. This lifeboat. I can't remember if I had a name for it or not. I think I gave Dolby the name, because you had asked before.
Is it the Umcha?
Yeah.
The Unts Bootskats. Ship.
Yeah. The Unts is what the name of the lifeboat is. It's ish 200 some odd years old, depending on who you ask. And Archangel will find out that William Vesper is one of the original crew. So he is either extremely well, has extremely great genes, has been in cryo sleep for a very long time, or there's something else going on. Last bit that Alfred will know, and the reason, so with the fate roll that he knows. There's Security Operations Corps, so SOC, SOC, and Alfred is a SOC operative. There is a guess that the denizens of the Axminster system, which is a very, very old colony, one of the very first ones, hence why they seceded from the SSA, have experimented greatly with cybernetics. Like to the point where in Alfred's what is the word? Hypothesis. Maybe. Ooh, this is interesting. Maybe even they have true AI. And maybe those true AI are in mechanical bodies. Of course, loads and loads and loads of errors and protocols and all sorts of things. None of this is true. Remember that, blah, 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 blah. This is anathema. However, the SOC still has it on their records. These are hypotheses. Okay, we're out of rounds. On that note, with that big fucking lore drop, let's take a break.
Drop it, drop.
Blam!
Let's take a 10-minute.
Thanks for playing tonight, everybody. Into Space, brought to you by DreadLore. Our cast tonight is Bill Bunkum, Ken Howl, Daniel Halker, or Daniel's not. Daniel's here. Drizzle is not here. Andrea Elliott-Johnson, and our special guest tonight is Archangel. Music by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. Join our Patreon and be as cool as Tim Roberts, Daniel Holker, Nostalgic, and Natalia Cline. Thank you. Couchfire Media for the art and media productions, as well as Threeable Productions. Subscribe today and become a soldier citizen. Subscribe today and become a citizen soldier. We'll be back in 10 minutes.